I want to begin with the prayer from, this is the Interfaith Prayer Book. I have it outside. It's by Ted Brownstein. It's a Native American prayer. Hear this prayer. Let us be happy on earth. O great Spirit, creator of all things, human beings, trees, grass, berries, help us. Be kind to us. Let us be happy on earth. Let us lead our children to a good life in old age. These are people. Give them good minds to love one another. O great Spirit, be kind to us. Give these people the favor to see green trees, green grass, flowers, and berries this next spring. So we all meet again. O great Spirit, we ask you. Hear that prayer. For me, 2026 feels like it is charging in with strength and speed. I listen to the sounds and gaze upon the movement to see where momentum is shifting. At the top of the year in my meditations and prayers, I listened for a word that I felt would carry me through the year of 2026. As someone who is attuned to the various tests and ideas and thoughts that shape our identities, I was drawn to the Chinese astrology theme of this year, the year of the fire horse. Usually I would notice the animal that is highlighted for the year and I would simply move on. I know it is because I am more interested in the year of the goat or sheep, because that is the year that refers to my birth year. But this month, I pondered on the horse. I thought back to my childhood, and the first horses that came to my mind were a cartoon television series, My Little Pony. Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Fluttershy were the names of the little ponies in this show that I would watch very often as a young child. This show taught me the necessity of friendship. I learned that not just being a good friend was needed, but being yourself. I learned that everyone had their part to do in this world. It kept my attention because it was very colorful and inspiring. And as I got older, I remember watching Mr. Ed, amazed and intrigued by the talking horse. The funny talking horse had its own way of teaching lessons and dropping nuggets of wisdom in a comedic way. In my reflecting on my awareness of horses, I realized I had much memory of horses from the various movies and shows that I've watched. And in a quick search, I also saw that there are so many songs about horses. So I want you to think about the first time you have ever seen a horse. Think about the first time you saw a herd of horses. What attracted your attention to the horse or horses? According to Google, a horse typically has a lifespan of 25 to 35 years to grace the world with its purpose of movement and beauty. From foal to mare or stallion, this animal and energy source get to be used in various ways to help bring people together. They can help with teamwork, focus, communication skills, and also help build trust. It is possible that one could create a profound bond with the horse with mutual respect. Some people will saddle up on the horse to ride, and others will move the horse with boots on the ground. A horse's strongest sense is hearing. The most common horse coat color is black. Horses usually sleep standing. When all four of their feet leave the ground, it's called a gallop. Horses communicate with body language instead of talking like Mr. Ed. And while horses appear to live a purposeful life in grace and in their beauty, they encounter adversities individually and as a herd. They encounter predators, environmental factors, and health challenges. They can also be mishandled by humans if their body language is misunderstood. No matter what part of creation you represent, our personalities and our struggles and privileges will affect how we move in this world. We can hear, see, and feel the many things that are happening around us right now. In case you've missed it, the world has many movement in chaos, violence, and control. Within our own state, redistricting, book bans, and budget cuts have affected many of our citizens. It compromises our ethics in voting. It challenges how educators teach and what they teach. It affects what students learn and how they grow. It also put people in harm in need of specialized health care and healthcare coverage. Across our states, ICE, slave catchers, humanity snatchers have brought the energy of terror and control the locals they encounter. This week, I listened to videos on Instagram and TikTok where an ICE threw flashbangs and tear gas into a car with 5 kids, including a baby inside. All of the children had to go to the hospital. And this was just a black family just trying to live and make it from one destination to their place home. Nations throughout the world are being interfered with, for example, by sanctions in Cuba, Venezuela, Iran. The threat and terrors to these countries are also part of this warfare. Some data research shared by the Human Rights Campaign mentioned the Trump effect has pushed nearly half LGBTQ plus Americans back in the closet due to the lack of health insurance, discrimination and stigma in the workplace, including the military. And I've also noticed that there is this rise on lavender marriages. I don't know if you all are familiar with that, but it's when two people of different attractions marry each other for survival. Mm-hmm. So there's a rise on that happening right now for benefits, just to survive. And I have learned from history that there's always at least one group of people that believes they are superior to the others. The group that believes they are supreme would use tactics to get into the mindset of others through dehumanization. They would do things to strip their humanity. They would create harm by separating families and creating misplacement. Across our nation, energy is doing its work. Some of the energy moves by hatred and fear. Some people act strangely around people they do not understand. Some people move in hatred to people they are not typically in community with. And when people fear the unknown, other people's livelihoods are at risk. Some of the energy is expended to halt and inhibit the progression and the evolution of humanity. And some of this energy is cultivating momentum to try to destroy, dissolve, and disappear the goodness and hope around us. Sometimes your movement will meet adversity. On Wednesday, as I was preparing for today, the Verizon network stopped working. I wasn't worried at first, but then I called Vaughn, my spouse, and she wasn't having any issues. So she just kind of brushed me off, until she realized that her phone wasn't working. I ended up driving to the Verizon store to see that many people were having issues. And I immediately thought, oh, something is going on. I was able to witness upset Verizon users walk out of the store just in frustration. And I realized my plans for Wednesday would be altered. I still had to pick up my daughter Camden from school and take her home before I went to go see the monks. But the access I usually had to others had been changed. The access people had to me had also been changed. And as a veteran, I thought we had encountered a cyber attack because of all the global affairs happening at this time. But then I realized this moment could be a blessing. It required me to pivot. It allowed me to think and reflect. And in my listening, I expressed gratitude for the Wi-Fi that we have in our van that allowed me to communicate with the people I needed to when necessary. I embraced a few more moments of this freedom from hearing the ringtone and notifications, because the people I needed to connect with knew how to reach me. The altering of our movement and momentum can change at any moment. We can still gather the energy we have in the spirit of unity to move on and move through the challenges. We must take the time to get to know each other and revisit the history and stories that have shaped us into how handling humanity the way that we do. What can we learn from these horses? What can we learn from the herds that we encounter? How do you see the movement? Considering everything happening in our communities and across the nation, we get another year to gallop into adventure. What does adventure and freedom look like for all of us? Where do you see your impact with freedom and adventure for the civilization and the environment that you encounter? In our lifetime, we get the opportunity to grace the world with movement, our purposeful movement, and grace and beauty. There is something for each of us to do. There is more for each of us to do. There is an opportunity for us to step in and make movement in ways we have never moved before. We have the ability to step into places and spaces that we dared not before. We can move beyond our fears that keeps us captive and separates us from what feels unfamiliar, different, or foreign to our typical lives. We have ways to move and evolve beyond how we would usually serve. We have opportunities to see, hear, and feel life differently than before. Now is the time to leap into purposeful action that requires more depth and empathy with humanity. Now is the time to move with priority on the misinformed and uneducated, those who express themselves with hatred, the immigrants, women, our LGBTQ kindred, and those who are being educated and the educators. Now is the time to be brave and think about impact. And the world, you know, energy and spirit is showing you to express now and to leave as an imprint for those that will come after you. Now is the time to move. And we can move at the pace of the monks, walking for peace, unity, and compassion. This is movement, meditation exemplified. Or we can move as quickly as the horses in the Kentucky Derby. We can move alone or in a herd. There is so much we could learn about horses and how they help further humanity and the environment where we live. There is so much we could learn about the way we walk, ride, and move in this world. The truth is, each of us have particular instincts, habits, and passions that will help us make our lives and the lives around us a better place. Maybe the horse does not speak to you when it comes to movement. Maybe there is another animal that moves you in ways that are inspiring. Whatever that animal is, study it and see why you are drawn to it. Are you drawn to the characteristics because it has characteristics that you have? Or are you drawn to it because it has characteristics that you desire or need? What are you passionate about? What are you good at? And what problems do you want to solve that will make an impact right now? Use these answers to these questions to find a movement that will enable you to make sustainable change. Some movements trending right now are racial and social justice, LGBTQ plus rights, anti-ICE immigration, anti-fascism, and anti-authoritarianism. There is a movement for each of us. As we reflect on the lives that we have lived so far, what more can each of us do to continue with our energy and intense passion for bold changes? Be the change the world needs right now.